Hello, hello, good morning, and Merry Christmas! Happy December 25th. I want to first thank you for taking just 10 minutes out of your day, out of your Christmas day, time from your family, time from those magical moments, and thank you so much for just taking those 10 minutes to check in on this 30-day challenge. I'm just so happy and grateful that you're here. We've made it to day 25, only 5 more days left. We've done it. You're still with me. You're still kicking it. And we're doing this challenge together. I just want to thank you so much. I'm grateful for you that you showed up and that you're here. Okay, day 25. Merry Christmas, everybody. Serve others is the topic. Serve others. You know, the Bible says it is more blessed to give than it is to receive. And I know all of you guys have experienced that, especially today, right? Especially in a time like now, Christmas time, the holiday season, you know, when we're just so excited and we're shopping for those gifts and those surprises for our loved ones. You know, you've experienced this, that it's so better to give than it is to receive. Okay, so today's topic is simple, but it's to serve others. And serving others has so many benefits for our health and wellness. Good morning. It's just mind-boggling. God knew when He created us. Serving others reduces our stress. Serving others takes the focus off of ourselves. You know, many people, especially in December, are sad and depressed because many significant life events happened for them in December. Maybe a loved one passed away. Okay? They've had challenging times in December. So many people link pain to December and Christmas time. So serving others can get us outside of ourselves. When we focus on others, it actually promotes a physiological change in our brain, and it boosts our happiness. You know, God knew this when He created us, that we don't need to focus so much on ourselves, but we need to serve others. We need to do those random acts of kindness, right? It increases our happiness. It reduces the loneliness. So like I said, many people are lonely and depressed in December, but when they do something for somebody else, it just completely changes them, right? So we feel fulfilled, and it gives us purpose, you know, when we are, sorry, got a message from my mom. Merry Christmas. What was I saying? Okay, so when we serve others, it takes the focus off of ourselves, and it helps us feel fulfilled. It gives us a purpose, right? God says, give and it shall be given unto you. So when we give others of our time, when we give others of our knowledge and maybe money, maybe gifts and presents, it helps us, right? You know, I'm sure all of you guys, when you're driving in your car in your city and you see the man or woman at the exit, right? You see them holding the cardboard sign. And I've experienced this so much, and it's like, and recently, and it's like every time I drive by, I've felt this way for my whole life. It's just like, I always feel so weird. It's like, do I give? Do I not give? And then it's like, I'm trying to give, and then I'm looking around in my car, and it's like, I don't carry cash. It's like, I don't carry cash. Who carries cash anymore? But it's like, what can I give them? And I'm like, I don't have anything in this car to give this person. And then it's like, oh, the green light, time to go. And it's like, whew, you know, like, whew, you know, like move on with my life and go on and do what I was, you know, whatever errand I was running. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And this is not to say that I don't give to, you know, people in need. You know, growing up in church, you know, when I was a teenager, like we did the homeless baskets, the food baskets for Christmas and Thanksgiving. We actually went to people's home and delivered them. We actually went to the homeless camp that people were staying at and sat and talked with them. Our church cooked chili, and we like sat with the homeless and served them chili. And like I've done many things, and I'm sure you guys have too, with your church or with your family, or maybe you've given to that homeless person, the person who is homeless standing by the exit, right? You guys have all seen them, and I'm sure you guys have all given your service and acts of kindness to them. Yesterday, Jasmine and I were driving in Louisville, Kentucky, and you know, we saw a man homeless off to the side. And there I go again. I'm like, I don't have, I'm like, I don't have any money, or I don't have any cash. But I'm like, what I do have is I do have my bank card, and there's a McDonald's right there, But at first I was like, I don't have anything. And I've been saying for a while, and Jasmine's heard me say for a while that, I wish I had a bag, like a bag for the homeless made up, with water in it, or granola bars and snacks and things like that. And I said this probably 20 times. And here I go again. I'm like, I wish I had that bag. And Jasmine goes, we do, Mommy. Like, here it is. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What is that? And she's like, I made it. And I'm like, my heart just like dropped. I'm like, what? Like, you made this? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I always hear you say we need to have a bag for the homeless. And she made up a bag with like waters and just little snacks and a hand sanitizer bottle in it and some stuff. And I'm just like, at a time where I was so busy trying to drive to the next thing, trying to run that errand, trying to get that done, over the past several months, and just busy. I didn't take the time to stop and create that little bag, but she did it on her own time. I don't even know when she did it, but she did it, and she put it in the car, and she was just like, here, Mommy, give this to him. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm like, okay, well, you're going to give it to him. Let's get out of the car. And we were at a place where there was no traffic behind us, and I wasn't like on the road. We were off in a parking lot when we saw this person. Anyway, so I said, here, and then we walked up to him and we gave it to him, and then we were like, Merry Christmas, here, Jasmine created this bag and whatever. And we got back in the car, and then McDonald's was right there, and we were going through because I was getting her something, and I'm like, why don't I just get this man a meal? Why don't I get him something? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to get him. And I'm like, what am I going to get him? And I was thinking, anyway, I drove back around. And I'm like, I don't know what he wants. So I drove back around and I asked him, and he wanted some, he wanted a meal and a coffee. And so I got that for him, and I handed it to him, and it lifted my spirits, because I was like, finally, I was able to help somebody that I knew I needed to help for a while now, and it's just those acts of service. And I know you guys have experienced that as well. You've bought a meal for a homeless. You've given your money. You've given a smile. Just different things that we can do for acts of service for someone else. And a lot of times the Bible in 1 John 3:18, it says, let us not give in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth. So, a lot of times we can talk, I care for my neighbor. I really care about them, or I'm a Christian, or whatever the statement may be. But do we actually live out, that? So serving others, acts of kindness, it truly helps us, our mental health, our well-being, our physical health. And remember that God says, and every man has received the gift, even so minister the same unto others. So the gifts that you've been given, maybe it's not money. Maybe you haven't been blessed with money, but you've been blessed with your voice. You've been blessed with a beautiful smile. Everybody has been blessed with the same amount of time, all right? I always talk about that time. How are you using your time? So, and I'm sure many of you already do this. This is just a simple reminder on this Christmas day to serve others, not just on Christmas, not just on Thanksgiving, not just on Easter, not just on 4th of July or these holidays where the outside world tells us that we need to be happy and magical and all about family. We can experience this throughout the whole year. We can have these magical moments with our family. We can experience love and serving others and those acts of kindness, because when we give, we're blessed in return. Right? So let this be a habit that you take, and that I take. I'm speaking to myself as well, that we take throughout the year, not just at a certain time of year, even though it is so special at Christmas and Thanksgiving and the holiday season. Okay, so your action step is to serve others, do a random act of kindness throughout your week. Try to maybe start, and if one a week is too difficult for you, try just once a month. Start with just one time a month. You're going to serve somebody, whether it's paying for the meal of somebody in the drive-thru. I really like handwriting a letter of appreciation and sending it off to that loved one or family member or coworker. Just calling up somebody and just giving your time, giving a listening ear, right? saying hello and smiling, to the strangers as you pass them in the grocery. That lifts people's spirits. We live in a time where we're like this all the time. We're like this, and the kids are like this, video games, but adults are like this, right? So look up, put the phone down and look up and actually look at people in the eye and make that eye contact and smile. It boosts our immune system. It boosts our happiness, right? So your action step, do an act of service. Merry Christmas. Enjoy the holiday season, and I'll see you tomorrow.